My name is Michael Swanek. I am a hobbyist smoker. So I like to cure and smoke my own meats on the weekends and, share the results with people because it's a lot cheaper than trying to get a whole bunch of people to go to a barbecue restaurant. So what we made during this experience is we made beef plate ribs. We just gotta trim off all this fat because we're not gonna get any flavor penetration if we don't. Luckily you didn't just catch me needing to go to the hospital there. I did a very basic rub, not like my usual rub, because you gotta keep some secrets to yourself. What you need is a binding agent. Some people will use just like olive oil as a binder because it doesn't have much flavor, but I find mustard actually adheres really well and actually tenderizes the meat a little bit. So you get a much better bark if you have something like mustard on the outside of it. And then, you gotta do your standard salt and pepper. And for me, I find plate ribs are incredibly rich, so I want something to help cut through that. So in my case, I did bitter instead of hot, just because not as many people like really spicy food, but the bitter, rich combo actually works pretty nicely. And just throw in your standard like onion powder and garlic powder. I like to eat and I like to live, and cooking originally started out as becoming like my main hobby because I messed up my budget, which some of you might also do when you first get out of college because everything starts getting a bit more expensive. And I picked up cooking because I needed to eat, and then eventually I started making more money and I'm like, I actually enjoyed doing this, so let's see how far I can take this. And the results were me spending money on smokers and being able to cook like crazy meals for friends that I wouldn't have dreamed about making back in college when I was, only reheating chicken patties, making buttered noodles and stuff like that. Cooking is just a good hobby to have because, it's the easiest thing to share. And let's say your parents make a lot more money than you, the easiest thing to share with them is let me cook you guys a meal. And the whole process is actually really easy, it's just that it's time consuming. The whole reason I got into this is because I like to share experiences with people. And, you can say oh yeah, let's go out and get some dinner together. Everyone spends $20. They get maybe, if you're getting barbecue, you get half a pound of meat for $20. And you go out with 5 people, that's $100 down the drain already just starting out. Whereas if you go and pick up the meat yourself and put in an inordinate amount of work, so I understand why it's so expensive per pound, I will say that, but for $50, I can usually get a 14-pound brisket, and that'll feed 8 people. If I went to a restaurant, did the same thing, it'd be $160 minimum just to get the same amount of meat, whereas I can get it for $50. So I'm able to have an experience where I share with people and share an experience, usually a pretty nice day too, where we just get to sit around, have some beers, shoot the shit, and just relax all day.